Welcome to the Life of Hair. My name's James Atkinson, and in today's episode we're going to be colouring my client Chloe's hair. Now Chloe has had so many colours: bright red, bright copper, she's been lots of different shades. She's been green in the past. She's a big Marvel character fan, so she's had lots and lots of different crazy colours. But today she's not had a crazy colour for a little while. In fact, last time she had a demi-permanent copper for a much more subtle effect. In fact, she wanted to look like Elsa from Frozen. She does themed events. Today she wants to go purple. Now, purple from orange, as some of you well know, is not the easiest route. So at the beginning of this video, we'll show you the before of her hair. It goes from kind of a reddy copper and fades into a light coppery golden color. So the first step we're going to take is to bleach up the ends, but that's going to leave us with a lot of orange and a lot of yellow. So in this video we're really going to look at how we deal with that when we want to go purple, because as a lot of you know, you can't just put purple over yellow, because you get the sort of results where the purple will neutralize and you'll get like a flat, dull feel to the color. So as we go through this tutorial, you'll see how I combat that and get the absolute maximum in vibrancy from the purple.
This is our starting point, level 5 natural colour, and then some old ready coppery colour. Simple technique here. What we do is we apply, this is a Redken's freehand clay lightener. I particularly like using that because it's very gentle on the condition. I'm just using 10 volume as well. Full saturation on 3/4 of the hair, and then I'm using palm of my hand to brush the colour back up towards the roots. This gives me a nice soft transition and maximum lift because of the full saturation on the ends. Remember, when you're applying lightener, go heavy with your product. The less product you put on there, the more likely it will dry out and you won't get the lift that you were looking for. This is a great corrective technique as well. I use it all the time just to cleanse out people's ends if they've got oversaturated colour, especially new clients, home hair dyes or more densely coloured hair. And do exactly the same thing on the sides, just working 3/4 of the way up the head and then back brushing up. So we've got orange on the ends. In the mid zone we've got a reddish orange colour, and then the roots as before. I have pre-toned this colour with magenta. That will give me a great base to put the purple on our end result. Now I will say with root stretches, the only secret to a root stretch is to make sure that on the sides you get it past the parietal ridge, and in the back that you stretch it down to at least the occipital bone in the back. It is really important, guys, that you get that colour stretched far enough down the head. One of the things that I come across quite a lot when I do classes about root stretching and various things is that lots of stylists are not taking the colour far enough down the head when they're doing these root stretch techniques. What you need to remember is the hair above the parietal ridge, the ridge that travels through the side of the head in the area that I'm in now on this video, is the hair that doesn't move, and everything below it does move. The same applies to the occipital bone area at the back. The hair at the back of the head above the occipital bone is very stationary due to sitting above the curvature of the head. So you must make sure that you stretch your root shadow down to the point where the hair will move. Otherwise you will get results that don't look as blended as you've hoped, and your client just looks like they've got a long regrowth. Final section on this root shadow, and as you can see, it's come all the way down past the occipital bone there, and in the sides it's past the parietal ridge. Now it's time for my end colour. Now this is where I've pre-toned with magenta, will come into play, because as you saw in the basin, I had a very orangey end colour, and as you probably well know, if you put purple onto orange, some of the blue from that purple will neutralise the orange and you won't get the result you were expecting. So pre-toning the hair first has allowed me to go straight in with a purple shade that I desire and not having to add extra blue into the hair. Make sure when you're doing your colour melt, root stretch, whatever you want to call it, root blend, that you overlay your end colour over the root stretch that you created. This will give you the ultimate blend between the two colours. One of the things that I've seen before in the past is that people put the colour so they just touch each other, then they try and blend them together. This is incredibly difficult, so make sure that you are overlaying the product, then blending the two together. And sometimes I use a comb as well, as you've just seen in the video, just to stretch the product through the hair and make sure my saturation of the product is really, really even. Even saturation is what great results are all about. So I do comb the hair to make sure that I've got that full saturation of product through the hair. And here is the finished result. You can see where I've stretched the colour past the parietal ridge there. It's created an absolutely seamless blend between the darker level 4 root colour and the deeper violet colour that we created through those mid-lengths and ends. This particular technique is an absolute favourite of mine. It's something I'm seeing an awful lot of on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, a technique that is incredibly simple to do once you know how to do it effectively. I do it all the time in the salon, not just with vivid colours like this, but naturals as well. And it really opens the doors to lots more options for lots of clients who have got maintenance issues or don't necessarily want vivid colours that go all the way up to their roots, because it will feel too bold, too unnatural. I'm not saying purple's natural, but you know what I'm saying. It just softens it a little bit.
There we have it, the technique done, and did a little bit of root blending or shadow colour or whatever you want to call it, root smudge. There's so many names for that technique. But using that magenta as a pre-tone really, really worked. It took away all those orange and yellow tones that you saw in the basin and gave me that cleaner, much more usable canvas to put purple on. And when you're doing purple, remember guys, that purple is just a mixture of blue and red. So if you give yourself the sort of background that sits on nicely, you're going to get much more longevity for your clients. It's going to look shinier and healthier, and you're not going to have that neutralization effect that just doesn't make it look very bright. Anyway, if you've enjoyed this video, share it with your friends, give me a thumbs up and leave me a comment. If there's any videos you'd like me to make, any techniques you want to see, I am happy to do it for you. So please, please, please do leave me that comment, and I'll see you again for another episode of The Life of Hair next week.